What is a computer skill everyone should know / learn? How to clean their computers, software and hardware. It's amazing how much some of the machines out there are struggling due to dust and unused software. I just dusted my PC for the first time in over a year. Now it doesn't sound like a jet when I play Skyrim. I feel so bad for never trying Skyrim. To my defense, I wasn't a PC guy back then. Good job though. I did my annual cleaning yesterday as well. It's not too late. Skyrim is still getting better due to mods. Be warned. You may never complete the games. If you start modding, it is a dark deep hole. You'll spend more time on Nexus mods / modding the game than Skyrim. To just look around and try things. I get so many how do I do X in program Y questions where I have no clue offhand. So just poke around the UI until I find what they're looking for. Lots of programs have their own internal search bar, so you can find that one command out of 1,000. To actually read what the computer is saying to you instead of clicking on OK or cancel right away without thinking. It's an advice that my stepfather gave me when I was young, and it helped me a lot over the years. Saw my ex click yes on an "Are you sure you don't want to save?" assignment that she spent the past 3 hours doing. And no, autosave was not turned on. Whenever I click the X on a word processor and it asks that, I always make sure to hit cancel instead of yes or no, just in case I'm reading the prompt wrong. Last thing I want is for a prompt to say, "Would you like to save before closing?" and I click no, because some of them say, "Are you sure you want to quit without saving?" Am I the only one bothered when similar programs don't seem to agree to an industry standard keybind for the same function? They do. Ctrl+S to save. Basic Excel for budgeting. Piggybacking off of this, if you are a college grad transitioning into the working world, you should become fluent in Excel because it's something you use every day, depending on the industry. Find a set of data online and play around with pivot tables, lookups, index/matches, sumif or sumifs, etc. And try to do so with only the use of your keyboard, because if you can learn the shortcuts needed to navigate a workbook without the use of mouse, you'll be probably 50% more efficient than your peers clicking around in a workbook. Really depends on the job. Personally for me, I never use Excel, but I use SQL all the time. But that's just my job. Some years ago, I was watching my mother input values into a web form. For each field, she went and moved her mouse over the new field she wanted to add info to, and then click on it. After a few times of observing this behavior, I asked her if she knew that tabbing would move to the next field. She didn't. So tabbing and Shift+Tab to go back to the last field. It's so weird. I know many of the shortcuts discussed in this thread, but if someone asked me, for example, how to go back one field, I'd be stumped. My fingers just do it automatically. My fingers automatically furiously hit tab until I cycle back where I want to be. AHH the WoW targeting method. Recognizing phishing attempts. Hell. Recognizing any sort of incoming scam. How to use incognito browser. Not only for porn, but to log into an account on a computer that isn't yours, so the information isn't saved. Adding to that, if the computer is yours and you are inviting guests who need your computer often, you can set up a guest account for them. I personally use it for preserving my desktop. I personally use it to preserve my dignity. Username checks out. How to advanced search and reverse image search on Google. Tell me more. Advanced search example. Put quotes around your phrase. It gives you results of the exact phrase rather than 100,000 irrelevant related searches. Windows key plus Shift plus S to create a new snip. Very handy to share just a bit of your screen and quicker than screenshots. This is useful. I'm always snipping stuff. Me too. I work at a circumcision office. I hope you don't do discounts. They're usually a rip-off. Don't worry, it's only 10% off. How to clean a laptop. If your 3-year-old laptop is reaching 94 deg points while watching Netflix, it is time to invest like 45 minutes to just clean out the dust. That gave me a much more significant performance increase than that time I downloaded extra RAM. I want to learn how to clean my laptop on the inside, but I'm too scared to break something. There is too much dust in here to take it every time to the technician to clean it. What are your favorite tips on cleaning? However, try looking for a YouTube video on how to disassemble your specific laptop. You might need 1 or 2 screwdrivers and small bowls to keep the screws. Try cleaning with soft brushes and a lot of care. Never force anything. The most dust is always in the fan and everything that the air circulates through. Be especially careful with the thermal paste on the CPU. You might need to gently heat it up before. Try looking for cleaning advice for your specific laptop. And for the screws, don't tighten them too hard, especially when they are just screwed into the plastic. To add to this comment, compressed, dry air is the best option for cleaning. Not all people have an air compressor, but we don't know who's looking. P. CTRL plus SHIFT plus V paste stuff without formatting. Before I discovered this, I pasted stuff into Notepad for 15 years. Before pasting it somewhere else. Doesn't work in Excel for me. Just try die paste, then hit CTRL again to bring up the paste menu. V again to paste as values / without formatting. I do this to get rid of formulas all the time. CTRL plus ALT plus V then enter. Once it's muscle memory, that whole menu is a flash. Yeah, every Excel user needs to know the CTRL Alt V menu. It does so much more than just paste values, though 90% of the time. That's what I use it for. I get to this with Alt, then E, the S because I don't love key combos that require pressing more than 2 keys at once. Just putting that out there for options. I was surprised to learn that there were people who didn't know CTRL-F or CMD-F for Mac users was a thing. Extremely useful for finding a particular word / phrase in a large wall of text. I once had a coworker who didn't know this and was surprised on how I could complete certain Excel lists so quickly or find information in them. She always zoomed them up to 300% and then read each column one by one. Rule 1 of Excel. If you're doing it manually, you're doing it wrongly, except when you're given a PDF of a scanned image and you need to turn it back into a functioning spreadsheet. You must have cruel and powerful enemies. How to not only clear your history, but your cache. This is a requirement before my department attempt to resolve an issue. I see this in mainly older generations, but I see it at people my age too. People have no clue how to make a PowerPoint, change your home search engine, zoom in / zoom out on pages, how to copy paste, how to print, and will even type Google in the Google search bar. These are basic skills everyone should have nowadays. Computer literacy is the right term. We are approaching a world where without those skills you are about as useful in the working world as somebody who is not literate. I can't read. I'd say we are in that world already just about. If you don't have computer literacy, you're at a massive disadvantage in our modern world. It's scary when your mother calls you out on your own CSS. Among the generation that's currently in their 50-60s, this is a very rare occurrence. But I had a good chuckle one time when a friend's dad gave him S for bad practices in designing algorithms over the dinner table. Dude was writing Quen software at the time when engineers were seen as basement nerds. Not a skill, just common sense. Microsoft is not screening your computer for viruses. If someone calls you because they detected a virus in your PC, it is a fucking lie. End the call on the spot. And if you are still curious if it may be real, call them back. Search for the number on their official webpage. Also, they ask you to install S to connect to your PC. They have a way to connect through a built-in feature in the operative system. TeamViewer or any other software is not their official software. They can do it without installing crap source used to work for their tech support. I couldn't believe people paying up to 4 times the official support fee if out of warranty and then paying the manuscript fee or play around with them to waste their time. I have a Windows 7 VM for just this purpose. The last call I got went on for 90 minutes because I pretended to be dumb about everything. That was 2 years ago though. I wish they would call back. I like watching the YouTube videos of the guys who do this all the time. How to Google the solutions to your basic computer problems. I'm the youngest person in my office by about 10 years, and everyone comes to me for advice. But all the expertise I have is knowing how to Google the solution. Because I don't know S about computers. Research is a skill many don't or can't be bothered to have. People will look for the easy way out for their problems. My family asks me to drive an hour each way to adjust landline phone volume. I swear to God. Do you enable them by going? I have a feeling if you stop going they'd either learn real quick how to do it themselves or learn real quick to get used to it. Depends. Some might try to stall, but they end up whining about it for months. The problem stays. I manage all of my grandma's stuff. Even the simple things like that, or fixing the hour display on the DVD. They just won't do it. Yo, are you an engineer? It ends up making my visiting times fixing times instead. I'll manage actually complicated stuff no problem, but FFS you don't need to be an engineer to adjust a landline's phone volume. It doesn't give you any advantage either. You just have to not be lazy and dig in the shitty menu with the shitty buttons.